Imagine a digital bank vault made of the strongest code ever written. You deposit your life savings because 5 of the most prestigious security firms in the world inspected the locks and signed their names to it. One morning you wake up and the vault is empty. The door is still locked and the walls are still standing. The guards saw nothing because the thief didn't break in. They simply convinced the vault that it wanted to be empty. This is the reality of decentralized finance in 2025. In this space, we have become obsessed with the word audited. We treat a PDF report from a security firm like a holy relic that guarantees our capital is safe. But I am here to tell you that an audit is not a security camera. It is a single photograph taken on a sunny day. It tells you nothing about the storm that is coming. If you are currently providing liquidity, lending assets, or farming yields, you are likely ignoring the technical black holes that swallow billions of dollars every year. I have spent years deconstructing these exploits, and the truth is chilling. Most hacks are not the result of a genius hacker breaking the encryption. They are the result of the protocol's own logic being turned against itself. I want to strip away the marketing hype and show you the silent killers that are waiting in the smart contracts you interact with every day. The ghost in the logic. The most dangerous risk in DeFi is not a bug in the code, but a flaw in the logic. Think of a smart contract as a series of dominoes. If the developer forgets to account for even one specific sequence of events, the entire row collapses. We often see this manifest in what the industry calls flash loan attacks. A hacker borrows a massive amount of capital, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars, without providing any collateral. They use this temporary wealth to trigger a specific function within a protocol thousands of times in a single second. They aren't breaking the rules of the code. They are using the rules of the code to do something the creator never imagined. This is like finding a glitch in a vending machine where pressing a specific sequence of buttons gives you the snacks and your money back. In DeFi, that snack is the entire liquidity pool of a project. If a protocol does not have strict re-entrancy guards or limits on how many times a function can be called in one block, it is a ticking time bomb. Even the most expensive audits can miss these edge cases because logic is subjective. A security firm might check if the math is correct, but they might not check if the economic incentives behind that math actually make sense in a crisis. When you enter a new pool, you must ask yourself if the protocol was designed to withstand a sudden massive influx of capital that disappears just as quickly. If the answer is no, you are not an investor. You are exit liquidity. The Oracle trap and data manipulation. Every decentralized application needs to know the price of the assets it handles. Since blockchains cannot look at the real world, they rely on oracles to feed them price data. This is the single most vulnerable point in the entire DeFi ecosystem. Many projects, in an attempt to save money or maintain control, use what we call in-house oracles, or centralized price feeds. This is a fatal mistake. A hacker doesn't need to hack the smart contract if they can just hack the price feed. If I can convince a lending protocol that a worthless token is suddenly worth $1,000, I can use that worthless token as collateral to borrow all the Bitcoin and Ethereum in the vault. By the time the protocol realizes the price was fake, the hacker is gone and the pool is bankrupt. This is exactly how many of the largest exploits of the last year occurred. They targeted a low liquidity pool on a small exchange to artificially inflate a price, and then let the oracle broadcast that lie to the rest of the market. When you are researching a project, you must find out where they get their price data. If they are not using a decentralized, battle-tested network like Chainlink, you are standing on a trapdoor. An oracle that is controlled by a single entity or a small group of people is not decentralized finance. It is a high-risk gamble. If the price of an asset looks too stable during a market crash or too high compared to major exchanges, the oracle is likely failing. In that moment of desynchronization, the money is already gone. The audit illusion and the admin backdoor. Let's talk about the psychological trap of the audited badge. Many investors see a logo from a security company and stop doing their due diligence. What they don't realize is that code can be changed. In the world of Web3, we use something called proxy contracts. This allows developers to upgrade their code to fix bugs or add features. However, it also means that the code that was audited 6 months ago might not be the code that is running today. A developer can get an audit on a clean version of their project, gain your trust, and then push an update that includes a malicious backdoor. This is the administrative risk that no one wants to talk about. If a project's owner or admin has the power to change the code at any time without a delay, they effectively own your money. They can pause withdrawals, change fee structures, or simply drain the contract. This is why the presence of a time lock is non-negotiable. A time lock is a piece of code that forces a waiting period, usually 48 to 72 hours, before any major change can take effect. This gives the community time to see the change and withdraw their funds if they don't agree with it. Furthermore, you must check for multi-sig requirements. If one single private key can authorize a major change, that project is one phishing email away from total collapse. A professional protocol should require at least 3 or 5 different people to sign off on any administrative action. If you don't see a time lock and you don't see a multisig, you are trusting the integrity of a stranger's laptop. In a trillion-dollar industry, that is not a risk worth taking. The DeFi Survival Checklist. Security in this new financial frontier is a continuous process, not a destination. You cannot simply set it and forget it when your capital is at stake. The first step in your defense is to stop treating audits as insurance. Read the audit reports yourself and look for high-severity issues that were acknowledged but not resolved. If the developers chose to ignore a security warning because it was too expensive to fix, they have already told you how much they value your safety. The second step is to manage your permissions. Every time you approve a contract to spend your tokens, you are creating a permanent bridge to your wallet. If that protocol is hacked a year from now, the hacker can use that old approval to reach into your wallet and take your funds. You must use tools like revoke.cash to regularly clean your permissions and close those bridges. The third step is to monitor the on-chain health of your investments. If you see a sudden, massive withdrawal from the developer wallet or the main liquidity pool, do not wait for an announcement on Twitter. The blockchain shows the truth long before the marketing team does. Finally, you must diversify not just your tokens, but your protocols. Even the most secure project in the world can have a black swan event. Never keep more than 20% of your DeFi capital in a single smart contract. The goal is not to eliminate risk entirely, because that is impossible. The goal is to ensure that no single technical failure can end your financial journey. You now understand the hidden plumbing of the system. You know that the code is only as strong as the logic, the oracles, and the governance behind it. If a protocol offers you a 50% return but cannot explain where its price data comes from, you are looking at a countdown to zero. The question is, will you be the one holding the bag when the timer hits? Share your most suspicious project or your closest call with a DeFi exploit in the comments below. Let's build a collective database of red flags to keep this community safe. If you found this forensic breakdown valuable, you are ready for the next level. The code is one thing, but the humans behind it are another. Watch our next deep dive into the psychology of Web3 scams to complete your shield. Stay vigilant and keep your keys safe.